Hi everybody, Daniel here, and thank you for tuning back into my channel. This time I thought I'd present you with something a little bit different to the regular norm. Excuse my Halloween top. A couple nights ago, I went to a local town production of The Addams Family, and I thought this would be appropriate, and I just thought I'd keep it, because it's actually quite a nice top. I'm a Halloween boy. Anyway, so... first of all, I want to thank everyone for their views and subscriptions throughout the time. I really appreciate all your support. If you like train spotting, model railway stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. This one I probably won't do a lot of, but I wanted to do this given the sentimental value it has to me. Now, as you all know, I love me some trains. And a lot of people, myself included, got their start in the world of trains with Thomas the Tank Engine. And it is currently his celebration of the 80th anniversary of the original railway series written by the Reverend W. Awdry. Also, 40 years since Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends was first shown on TV. Really classical stuff, and I grew up with Thomas as a child, absolutely loved it. How can you not like his adorable face? Well, Mattel had a very special surprise for everyone. Now, we all have our problems with Mattel. They changed a lot of the old series for this new All Engines Go stuff, and it is not as good as the original. It honestly makes me so sad. Maybe it's just me growing old and not being the target audience anymore. I don't really watch or follow Thomas nowadays. I sometimes look at fan stuff because, I like to see creativity. But sometimes if I'm feeling down, I'll watch an episode or two. And it was really fun. I had a lot of happy memories growing up. One of my earliest memories was when I used to go to Longleat Forest a lot, when they still had the steam outliner. And my mum would always buy me a new Ertl figure from the ticket office there all the time. I wish I still had those. They were amazing toys. But anyway, I grew up watching the original series with Ringo Starr and Michelangelo, rest his soul. And Mattel decided to surprise us with something really special. A re-release of the original pilot, well, I say a re-release, I think it was a reconstruction of the original pilot, Down the Mine, where Thomas falls down the mine after Gordon falls into a ditch. So a pilot, for those who don't know, normally is a proof of concept for the idea of a eventual full series. And I used to study in filmmaking and animation, so I feel like I could add a lot to this to give you an idea of, from my perspective, it won't be like a very professional perspective, I'm more of a hobbyist nowadays, on what it was like to work on shows like these and give a proof of concept, because that was part of my coursework. And as someone that tries to be sort of a regular ongoing student of the arts in some way, I wanted to have a look and see the comparisons and what we could gain from them. So sit back, relax, and join me as I give you my reaction of Down the Mine, the pilot. Okay, so here I am on the official Thomas and Friends YouTube channel. Jeez, just look at all those ugly faces. What has happened to my childhood, man? Like I said, I don't really follow Thomas that much anymore, but this is not something I would enjoy, nor would I expose any children to if I had any. But again, some people like it, whatever. We're really here for this. Down the Mine, the original 1983 restored pilot with voice acting by Ringo Starr. So here we go, gonna click on it now. In April 1983, filming began on the pilot episode of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Actually, I'm going to turn off closed captions. Look at those models. Using specially created models, this initial test would help shape the series to come. My childhood, man. I can see hands. The following is a reconstruction of previously unseen tests using film events discovered in the Mattel archives. Down the Mine, the pilot episode, told by Ringo Starr. Ooh, childhood time.
One day, Thomas was at the Junction when Gordon shuffled.
Listen to that voice. That crisp, clean voice by the legendary Ringo Starr. Ooh, splendid and wonderful. You know, it's weird. When you see these different shots like this, you don't realize... When you're watching the original series, here's a splice of different scenes. You can tell that although they were models, they tried to make it look realistic. You can tell this is modelized. But I guess, again, when you make a pilot, it's cheaper to make something and give off the idea of something instead of making it fully in case it doesn't quite work out. So you can go back and make the original episode later on. To make something quickly and cheaply to give off sort of a concept, and if a studio decides, you know what, we want to take it, they can make it again. It's pretty standard, but it's hard to see knowing that these are models. Maybe it's just me growing up or learning about filmmaking and animation. It's something that I notice a lot.
Put in with some trucks. Phew, remarked Thomas. What a funny smell.
So I think it's still the same voice you hear in like the re-release episode as well. I don't think there's been any re-release lines. I have to watch the remade episode to see. What is that face? It looks like he ran into that wall again, and he's not more like delirious. He's just about it. Like, nah.
Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Annie. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas. No one noticed it till you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours.
You notice how Gordon's buffers are a bit crooked? I don't know why it set me off. Thomas's face looks fine. Gordon looks like... I don't know how to describe it, but it honestly looks like he is fed up. Obviously, he's being punished for, you know, if you watch the original or read the original Railway stories, he's being punished and had the express taken away for falling into a ditch. Why was there a ditch? Then again, railways are, you know, have like expansion and stuff, and there's some potholes. So.
Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water. Before Gordon could answer, Thomas puffed away.
That was a splice from the re-release.
Annie and Clarabelle could hardly believe their ears. That was funny, he chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself.
Ah, the intro scene.
Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine. Thomas left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some trucks.
Yeah, so I remember like some hardcore Thomas fans or analysts, they look at the scene here with Thomas and they notice that there is some details missing. I don't know if it's the light or something, but yes.
Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Though strong enough to hold up trucks, their roofs
these
could
look like
not bear the
photographs.
weight of engines. Silly old board, he thought. He had often tried to pass it and he had never succeeded.
That was softer than the original.
But this morning he had made a plan. He had to push the empty trucks into one siding and pull out full ones from another. Come on, waved the fireman. The driver leaned out of the cab to see where they were going.
I remember Thomas's driver was it his driver or fireman used to have a mustache? Hold on, let me go back.
The driver leaned out of the cab to see where
so
they
that
were
was his
going.
fireman. Gotcha.
Now, said Thomas to himself.
That wasn't Thomas's whistle. That sounds so wrong.
Hurrah, laughed Thomas, and he followed the trucks into the siding. Stupid old board, said Thomas. There's no danger, there's no danger. Look out, shouted his driver. Come back. Fire and smoke, said Thomas. I'm sunk. And he was.
Yeah, it's definitely much softer, Ringo Starr's delivery compared to when how he redid it. Like what I said again, like don't put 100% until you get the clearance from the production companies and all that. Or the TV companies. These were originally made to pair with Shining Time Station, though, weren't they?
Thomas could just see out of the hole, but he couldn't move. Oh dear, he said, I am a silly engine. And a very naughty one, too. I saw you, said the fat controller.
Ah, he said the thing! Yeah, nowadays you can't really call him the Fat Controller anymore. You have to call him Sir Topham Hatt. I suppose I understand why, but... That could be a debate for the comments. Keep it respectful.
Please get me out. I won't be naughty again. I'm not sure, replied the fat controller.
That model looks so strange. So, like, they have, like, stranger-looking models for when they're a bit zoomed out, but it just looks wrong. Like, that doesn't look like the Fat Controller. That looks like his brother.
We can't lift you out with the crane. The ground's not firm enough. Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out. Yes, sir, said Thomas nervously, but he didn't really want to meet Gordon just yet. Down a mine, is he? Ho, 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 laughed Gordon. What a jokey chortle, puffing to the rescue.
It's giving Henry. I don't know why.
Poof, poof, little Thomas. We'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Strong cables were fastened between the two engines. Are you ready? Heave, called the fat controller.
Ah, so when he's pulled out of the... I don't know if you noticed in the original, Thomas has this glum-looking face now when he's pulled out. When he was pulled out, he has his original sad face.
But at last he was free. I'm sorry I was cheeky, said Thomas. That's all right, Thomas. You made me laugh. I'm in disgrace, Gordon went on pathetically. I feel very low. I'm in disgrace too, said Thomas. Why, so you are, Thomas. We're both in disgrace.
There's something quite charming about the simplicity of it, though. Like, I was talking about how they don't go overboard with making it pristine and polished, but there's an odd charmingness to it. Like, remember the old days of YouTube when Thomas fans were making their own series with their Tomy models or their Hornby collection? Something like that. Obviously, it's going to be nothing compared to that because the production value here is much better, and I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers in the train watching or Thomas spectrum definitely put in a lot more quality to their work, not just in, obviously, making of model railways, which is where a lot of us got our start here, but also in train simulators and stuff.
Shall we form an alliance? An Ali, what was it? Asked Thomas. An alliance, Thomas. United we stand, together we fall, said Gordon grandly. Right you are, said Thomas. Good, that's settled, mumbled Gordon. And buffer to buffer, the allies puffed home.
And Thomas lost his branch line for a little while. Well, that was charming. Again, I'm not entirely sure if I can call it, you know, as good as the re-release, but then again, it's not meant to be. But to see it in this style, in this way, really gives a new perspective on not only the production of the original show, but everything else. How we view... we miss you, Britt Allcroft. Thank you for the memories. So there you have it. I really, really enjoyed that one. Obviously not as good as the re-release, but that's always going to be the case. But I think it's amazing that that's jump-started everything we know now. Again, a reconstruction, but it's nice and it's as faithful as possible, and they did their best, and I really appreciate that they thought about that, and it shows that there is some appreciation for the original Railway series and the model series, which I think was lost with a lot of advertisement. That's a problem with like these companies like Mattel obviously taking over, but that's always going to be the problem. But honestly, I hope you all enjoyed it too. It was interesting to give you like my personal perspective here and there. I hope you took something from this, and I want to thank you all for watching. I'll be going back to regular film making stuff soon. Until then, I hope you all give this video a like, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more train spotting, heritage railways, model railways. Hit the bell icon, and if you want to see more like reaction content like this, just let me know. I probably won't do a lot of like copyrighted stuff, but I will try and dabble in different things to flex out my channel. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, or night, and I'll see you all down the line.